Welcome everybody to the first episode of Camp Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi podcast. I am your host, the Artificial Dragon, and joining me today are my co-hosts, Hannah and Kit. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hello.
So for everybody wondering, what exactly is this podcast about? Well, it's a podcast where we talk about Star Wars stuff, where I introduce the world and lore of Star Wars to newbies. For all of you viewers who are interested in getting into Star Wars or are more interested about the weird, wonky stuff about the Legends continuity, or maybe you're more interested on what the Sith are all about and why their lightsabers are blue or red, we're going to be doing an episode for specific topics, maybe specific characters and events, and we won't go too much into depth because we'll be here all day if we do. Think of this as the Cliff Notes version of Star Wars. So, you guys want to know what today's topic is going to be?
Sure.
We're going to be talking about, this is a very important subject. I mean, fairly important, not Sith or Jedi important. But we're going to be talking about superweapons.
Okay.
Superweapons.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, isn't everything a super weapon in Star Wars?
I mean, that's fair. I mean,
True.
You got, these city-sized starships that could already level cities.
Well, a super weapon I really want to discuss was the clones, because I find it very questionable to even create such a thing in the first place.
I mean, clones aren't exactly a super weapon. I mean, sure, they could be a quote-unquote bioweapon.
No, I wouldn't say that by any stretch of imagination. You have a person who has DNA from a elite bounty hunter that's killed thousands of people.
Yeah.
Who then has their DNA replicated into a mass army of elite soldiers that follow orders at all your beck and commands, that only can get satisfaction and pleasure from winning the war, and has no choice but to obey to you, and also has a microchip in their brain that can turn you against your own side at any point in time.
Not to mention they never knew about that in the first place.
Not only that, they genetically age faster.
I thought canon replaced that then.
Huh?
I thought canon replaced that.
I mean, it's... Legends is a little bit different.
Their physicality is insane.
Yeah.
It's probably better than the average human by every imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not here.
They're a super weapon, Isaac. About the fact that clones are a super weapon. If you say clones aren't a super weapon, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Okay, well, we're not talking about the clones. We'll talk about that in another completely different episode. Point is, what categorizes
about super weapons doesn't talk about the super weapon that is the clones.
You shut the fuck up.
No, it's true. It's like let's discuss super weapons when we're not even gonna discuss the ultimate super weapon that was about a series.
The army that gunned down all the Jedi. Yeah,
Bro,
I can see that.
It's like a good example of.
It's like, what is better than a super weapon? A super weapon that wields other super weapons. What the fuck?
Well, don't worry. You're going to learn a lot about super weapons in the Star Wars universe.
Go ahead, sir.
A good example of it would be the gravestone in the Old Republic.
I don't
Because
know what the gravestone is.
Okay,
I'm still relatively new to Star Wars still.
Okay, the gravestone is basically an ancient starship that it has a super weapon that could destroy several ships at one time, kind of like a concussive blast.
Yeah, it took out the whole Eternal Fleet.
Well, I want to discuss this dumbass super weapon. Who titled this shit? So me and I were watching Clone Wars, and rather than a satellite strike, a missile strike, they had a massive... It was a massive floating device.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the Decimator, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a floating device, and it moves. And God, I fucking hate this cat. Sorry.
Yeah, you keep talking.
It's
Keep
okay,
talking.
it's okay. Don't cut this. The machine is floating in the sky, and it just hovers over things. And with enough mass of energy, it just pushes down a concussive force of metal. Crushes
Oh, no. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about the original Clone Wars. I remember that now.
This seems like so...
It's like a giant fucking sledgehammer.
Basically, it's like... I don't know if that's efficient or non-efficient.
That doesn't
Fuck,
sound
now that you
efficient.
mentioned that,
Well,
I
no,
gotta
because when you really look at it, all you're really wasting is energy, and in the Star Wars mythos or lore, there probably is a lot of energy they can make because it's nuclear fusion or some shit.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you would probably just want a weapon that involves energy rather than having to always construct missile pieces or metal shafts together to create a giant like shrapnel explosion.
Yeah.
Or chemical-based warfare that has resource amount. But at the same time, it seems so inefficient because you could just bombard that so easily from a close range.
It just slowly floats in the air, just like that. And all the clone troopers are like looking up at it.
It's just
they just start firing at it.
I felt like it was so questionable in its design.
Yeah. I mean, that, for the audience, we're talking about the old Clone Wars, not the new Clone Wars by Dave Filoni. You know, the one that was
the
created
2003.
Yeah, that was created by the creator of Samurai Jack. I forget his name.
I was just about to say the Samurai Jacket animation.
Let me see if I could get a picture of it, because... Yeah, fuck. But, technically, yes, that could be a super weapon, because it's just smashing the ground.
If we're just talking about, like, nuclear-based, like, weapons of mass destruction, like WMDs, like the Death Star.
I was just about to say the Death Star.
If you're saying the Death Star, what's there discussed? It's a giant moon that just destroys a planet.
Yeah.
A giant metal moon.
A giant metal moon, yeah. And like, look, I was researching super weapons for this episode, and Wikipedia, which is a play on Wookiee and Wikipedia, that's the quote-unquote official Star Wars source site. I was looking up the categories of super weapons. I was like, okay, let's see how many there are, because there are different subcategories and whatever. And I think the number at the top of my head that I remember, there was 163 super weapons in existence.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a shit ton.
I'm sorry. I really gotta bring this up. I know we're not discussing clones anymore.
And is that canon or legends?
We have to say it every time. But yet again, I still can't believe you don't consider not the clones from the Republic, but like cloning.
Yeah.
You can. Wasn't there a book? I didn't read it. Where they cloned a Jedi or Force user?
Oh, you're talking about the Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah, and it went horribly wrong, and it killed a mass group of people.
Oh no, fuck. I think you're talking about the Force Unleashed 2, didn't you?
I don't. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Or like there was a book and there was a game.
Yeah.
They cloned Star Killer.
Yeah.
They cloned another Force user.
Speaking of Star Killer, we're going to talk about that later.
That went maniacal and killed a bunch of people.
Jesus.
They cloned Palpatine. Mm-hmm. Spoilers. No one watched that movie. Snoke was in these weird ass pod things.
Wait, wasn't Snoke supposed to be a clone of Luke?
I thought it was Palpatine.
I think it was just a random clone that Palpatine just sent off.
Continuity!
I didn't watch Rise of Skywalker. I didn't give less.
It's so... I mean, it's fun, but it's so fucking stupid.
It is!
So somehow, Palpatine just returned. It's like, this is like saying if Hitler just came back to life.
No, he came back as Mecha Hitler.
But it makes no sense.
Oh,
brain
shit.
dead, smooth brain, head empty movies. Don't watch them.
Yeah. Okay, fuck. I can't find that fucking floating hammer piece of shit from the original Clone Wars, so I'll leave it as it is. So.
Well, it's just, yet again, I can't believe we're not considering cloning a super weapon. That's so Star Killer. Literally a clone.
Yeah.
Aren't clones supposed to be weaker than the original?
Yeah.
He jumped.
Technically, quote unquote, according to the lore of Star Wars, you can't exactly clone a Jedi and have it, retain the metachlorians in its body, because the Force is. I think the Force looked down on it and is like, no, you can't do that.
Let me explain. You have, even with the flawed cloning process, correct?
Yeah.
So you have Star Killer from the first game.
Yeah.
Taking a giant starship.
Star Destroyer.
Yeah, and just I don't know the functionalities. Come at me, Star Wars.
Don't actually him.
And he moved it. He literally dipped it down. And
he did a bad dip.
Yeah, and in the second game, he dives down this massive building. And a a spaceship. I forgot what it's called. A T. It's the one from the Empire they used.
You're talking about fuck.
It has
anyway,
a hexagon formation.
Oh,
It's the ship that Vader flew one time to kill Luke.
Yeah.
A TIE fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, TIE fighter. There we go.
There's a TIE fighter. Can read them. No Jedi before surviving Order 66. They had to be in planes to be able to chase and shoot other planes down.
Yeah.
And they couldn't survive a plane explosion.
Yeah.
There was a scene where fuck. What's his name? He has that weird mask and he has a crab face.
Fuck.
Plo Koon, right?
Plo Koon?
Plo Koon.
Fuck?
Right?
Yeah, Plo Koon. Plo Koon.
Master Koon.
Yeah, like Plo Koon didn't survive the explosion. He died from his ship being exploded.
Yeah.
You just have a clone of Starkiller jump from a building, see a TIE fighter, throw 2 lightsabers, explode the TIE fighter, survive the explosion, just dive through the explosion, land on his feet after just jumping thousands of stories on the ground, creating a giant crater covered in lightning, fighting a couple more stormtroopers, not tired, beat the shit out of Vader, and have a huge philosophical monologue speckle about clones and what it means to actually feel shit. And you're telling me cloning's not a super weapon?
I'd say it depends on who and what you clone.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so this is the definition of super weapons. I'm going to read this verbatim. A super weapon was a weapon with capacities far out of line with normal military technology, such as destroying entire planets or star systems, and often requiring great resources to create.
And you know what requires a lot of resources?
Anyway, whatever.
No!
Moving on!
Submit to the point that cloning is a super weapon. Good God!
Don't worry, we'll talk about cloning
if
later.
We're considering this giant, massive Tardation hammer a goddamn super weapon, we better consider cloning a super weapon, okay?
I don't know if that's even qualified as a super weapon. It's just a much more powerful sledgehammer.
How many resources do you think they had to take to build that stupid monstrosity?
Probably a lot.
Anyway, so super weapons are kind of an important deal in Star Wars. Like in the first movie, we got the
Death Star.
the iconic Death Star.
Of course.
The legendary line that Obi-Wan says, "That's no moon, that's a space station."
Well, the question is like, what can you really talk about with the Death Star? It's a giant moon base that kills you in one shot.
And like a majority of super weapons in Star Wars are basically giant fuck-off super lasers.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that I could say about a majority of super weapons in Star Wars is the good old meme of, "I'm gonna fire my laser!"
How does I don't understand how that laser destroys the planet. Like, is it just so concentrated it creates a massive penetrated explosion into the core of the planet?
That's
Okay,
what
so-
I think.
So you know that the kyber crystals, the core of what makes a lightsaber a lightsaber.
Yes.
So what they did, the Empire, they gathered a shit ton of kyber crystals, those giant building-sized ones or whatever, put in the Death Star, and then concentrated it into a gigantic fuck-off super laser.
So if you think about it...
So wait, they just made a giant kyber crystal.
Yeah, basically.
And
So if you think about it, the Death Star laser is a giant lightsaber.
Basically, yeah.
I don't understand how it explodes the world, but okay.
I know
There is no logic in Star Wars.
I don't know the immediate logic. Obviously, this is an overarching episode about Star Wars, about super weapons, not about the Death Star. But I think there's a lore explanation, like it's so concentrated that they just focus it into a beam of light that disintegrates entire planets.
Well, it didn't really disintegrate, more like...
It explodes, I know. That's what the movies like to show us, but if there's something about the movies that we could take from Kit, they're not exactly accurate.
Well,
yeah,
the issue, though, is that they were the ones that started the entire thing in the first place.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to... Even though, like, I know back then you can't visually represent things in the way you actually would want to.
Especially with it being in the, 80s?
Yeah.
It was made in the 70s,
Like,
actually.
Yeah, the 70s.
Like, Jedi can do some of the most absurd things in books and in the canon.
And on the screen, they're just...
Like, for example,
Yep.
moving faster than the
Bit of a blink of... Yeah.
Being able to close black holes, being able to do, like, such weird, like, techniques that it wouldn't look right on screen. So I understand they have to do some sort of, like, mitigation for their live action for it to look good. But at the same time, since it's the only thing I can really base my like, perspective on, I have to go with the fact that it doesn't really disintegrate planets. It just makes them explode.
Yeah.
Especially since the new movies didn't even show the planet being disintegrated.
Yeah.
Like, the new movies, that weird Death Star they made.
You're talking about fucking Starkiller Base. Don't worry, we'll talk more about that.
Starkiller Base is just a bigger Death Star.
Yeah.
It's not like they really it's not like they changed it to disintegrating the planet. It just made the planet still explode.
Yeah.
Kylo was a wannabe Darth Vader.
That's another...
that's another can of worms.
Yeah, that's another episode subject we gotta talk about.
You really want to talk about, like, a killer, like a really deadly super weapon. Let's talk about Luke Skywalker's bipolar disorder.
Okay, moving on.
No,
damn.
We're not talking about bipolar Skywalker.
No,
we're here about super weapons.
That's a super weapon. That super weapon led to a planet dying, so we have to talk about it. It is indeed a super weapon.
Oh my god.
It required a lot of resources, and it was something that caused so much devastation. Okay? It is indeed a super weapon. Luke Skywalker's weird bipolar disorder has caused many deaths, and he must swallow that fact like a dude sucking semen. Okay?
Oh my god. Okay, I'm the teacher here. Let's move on to super weapons.
We gotta talk about bipolar stuff. Okay, we'll talk about bipolar later.
This is about super weapons. We'll talk about bipolar bullshit later.
Don't cut that.
I hate my life. Anyway, so we all know super weapons as commonly they're used as MacGuffins in a lot of Star Wars media.
Yep.
Like with Star Wars, we got the first Star Wars, we got recover the plans for the Death Star and destroy it from this very specific exhaust port and all that.
I found that so flawed. Like, you think they would just have some futuristic portal shield for deflecting?
Again, it was made in the 70s.
I know. It just seems like such a huge flaw within the movie that one port was the defining factor of how they won that specific fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, we'll be talking about both canon and Legends super weapons. We'll go with canon first because that's the shortest one. They're also called mega weapons. Kind of stupid because super weapons.
That just seems redundant.
It just seems really redundant. Oh, we're going to call it a mega weapon. Okay.
Like, I don't. Yeah, I didn't. I could sort of understand why they rehashed the Death Star in a way, because they're trying to get a new generation into Star Wars, and that if they remade it in a way with new aspects, they could have. I actually didn't think Force Awakens. Was it Force Awakens?
Yeah, it was Force Awakens.
I didn't think that it was that bad. I thought it was okay. I thought it was really good build up and lead up, even though they rehashed some elements.
Yeah, I will admit, The Force Awakens did rehash some elements from A New Hope. You got Jakku, Tatooine, Starkiller Base, and Death Star.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, we'll talk a lot more about Force Awakens later. This is more of a podcast.
But Starkiller Base is
yeah, it is. I'll get to roasting Starkiller Base later.
Starkiller Base, I forgot. Did Starkiller Base lose in the same way that the Death Star did?
We'll get to that later.
I wouldn't know because I haven't seen the first two of the
I've seen it like 2 times and I forgot how they destroyed it.
So in canon, super weapons are not really that common as they are in Legends. Like, if you're talking about a super weapon, you're associating it with the Sith. Because the Sith, if there are 2 things the Sith love doing, number 1, backstabbing murder orgies. Number 2, making giant fuck off super weapons because they gotta overcompensate for something.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just, I find them so. It just seems so like redundant. It's like I need more power, so I have to kill, and if I can't kill, I don't have enough power.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, there's a unmade episode of the Clone Wars where Anakin and Obi-Wan travel to Utapau because, long story short, there was an assassination, and they found this giant kyber crystal, which the Separatists really want. And after they destroyed the kyber crystal, because they didn't want to get into enemy hands. Yoda was all like, there are ancient super weapons powered by kyber crystals that the Sith used, so a lot of Sith used kyber crystals to power their super weapons and all that.
We need to have an episode on politics.
I know. I know.
That's a whole other can of worms.
Star Wars politics is something I'm very interested in.
Me too.
Or Star Wars philosophy.
Oh yeah.
Because I want to major in philosophy, so. Well, I wanted to. You can't really get a job doing it.
Yeah.
No, Star Wars philosophy. I wish that was an actual job.
Well, no, not Star Wars philosophy, just philosophy in general. Like,
yeah.
That was a job, but me and my friend talk about philosophy all the time. So getting into the philosophy of how Star Wars people think, how they construct their values, how they construct their principles, I'd really like to think about that. Because
he and I have had hour-long talks over, in the middle of the night, just over Star Wars politics and philosophy.
Well, I just don't like it when people are of the notion of just Vader bad or
Vader bad.
Yeah, Vader bad
or Grievous bad.
Yeah, they don't delve into why the character is the way they are.
Yeah.
They don't look into their philosophies, their notions, what is moral within their framework.
Yeah.
What makes morality in the Star Wars tradition objective or subjective in those
Yeah.
They don't look at
Very
this.
true.
They people just look at Star Wars and they're like,
bad, good.
Like just the typical story of good and evil when it's not.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
it is.
Star Wars did do that.
Kind of, yeah.
But there was still, in a way, not nuance, but something to it that humanized the characters.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
like, we could open up a whole can of worms about Grievous.
Yeah. We'll dedicate an entire episode to Grievous. But yeah, in the Clone Wars, I assume. Okay, have you ever watched the first season of the Clone Wars, Kid?
I mean, I've seen episodes, but
okay.
I can't say if I saw the full first season. I just seen.
Okay, so there's one of the first super weapons, quote unquote, that was introduced in the Clone Wars was the Separatist battle cruiser called the Malevolence. It's this gigantic battle cruiser around the size of this city that we're living in.
Wow.
It's huge, but
like what you said before, big fuck off super weapon.
Big fuck off super weapon. But that's not what makes it a super weapon. It has these. I'll have to show you a picture later. It has these discs on the side of it, and each one of these discs are gigantic ion cannons. If you don't know what an ion cannon is, it's basically a weapon that disables electronics. And
so it's a big EMP.
Yeah.
So you have a city, you have a Flagstaff-sized city spaceship that is an EMP.
Yeah, it just shoots this cannon, and it's this circular field of electricity, and it just swarms entire fleets and just disables them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, that thing is huge.
Exactly. Yeah. But Malevolence is awesome.
Are you going to edit these pictures?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is literally just a city, a ship that is...
Just to give you a perspective of how big it is, it has, like, trains inside it to bring people from place to place.
They obviously
Jesus
have, like,
Christ.
an abundance of escape pods.
Yeah. It's got a bunch of turbo lasers to mow down opponents that it's disabled with its ion cannons.
This reminds me, you know what I always wanted to see in Star Wars?
What?
So I wanted to always see a city-sized ship like that, but I wanted to see like a space city.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you have a spaceship city, but it roams around. It never lands on a planet.
Yeah.
And they just keep expanding the ship by building more stuff on it in space to keep expanding the ship. That would be very...
It was like kind of like the concept of Valerian and the Planet of 1,000 Planets, or something like that.
I don't know what that is.
We'll get into that later.
But I like that concept. Like, imagine if the ship starts off small and then you slowly build the ship bigger and bigger to eventually create a city. I like that concept. Yeah.
But Malevolence is kick ass. And it's For all of you, none of you are World War II buffs, but it's basically based off of the battleship Bismarck by the German
I know what the
military.
Bismarck
You
is.
mean like the battle cruisers that are like
the Bismarck is like the largest battleship made by the German Navy at the time, and it like went around the Gulf, around Britain, you know, just attacking ships here and there. That's basically what the Malevolence did.
It was literally nicknamed the King of the Ocean.
Yeah, it shot down an ancient battle cruiser. I can't remember the name of it.
Was this World War I or World War II?
World War II. And like the British Navy were so sad that battle cruiser got destroyed, they sent the entire Navy after it.
Oh.
That's how formidable it is.
Wait, how did it get destroyed?
The Bismarck?
Yeah.
They just torpedoed the shit out of it.
You would think it sunk. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it put up one hell of a fight, but it sunk by the entire British Navy.
Wow.
And that's basically what happened to the Malevolence. It's so fucking huge. Okay, so
I think that's the equivalent of their Death Star battle in real life.
Yeah.
So like in the TV show, long story short, it went around, you know, doing some skirmishes here and there, and the Republic's like, oh, we gotta take it down because it's fucking us up. And its final target was to take down this medical facility that had like 200,000 injured clone troopers because, you know, the separatists do war crimes.
Well, I mean, everyone does war crimes.
So does Chopper.
Everybody does war crimes in Star Wars.
Like, I didn't think the AI in Star Wars was sentient. I thought they were just mechanical beings with no sense of sentience.
Well, it was just some programming.
Yeah, it was just programming. Apparently, that's not true, as you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that scene where Anakin says that he surrenders, then chops off a robot's head.
Yeah.
He technically murdered someone.
Yeah. But it was a fake surrender,
Yeah, it was a fake surrender, which is a war crime.
Yeah.
You cannot shoot unarmed soldiers.
Yeah.
You cannot behead a soldier when you're surrendering.
Yeah.
You cannot do these things. That is a literal war crime.
Anakin didn't give a shit. I mean, he cut down several Padawans. You think he'd give a shit?
Well, of course not. Of course not. This is where fun begins. But
This is where the fun begins, indeed.
The youngling killer 3000.
Anyway, we're going to talk about a different Skywalker. It's called the Malevolence. So, long story short, it went to destroy the medical facility. But its ion cannons got disabled, and they just blew up, crippling the ship. And Anakin Skywalker went, infiltrated the ship, and basically had it hyperspace into a nearby moon, destroying it.
Shit.
So, well, to redefine Superweapon, a weapon that can destroy a planet that has to have a lot of resources to build it up.
I know the Malevolence didn't destroy a planet, but for all intents and purposes, it's an unorthodox weapon.
I feel like Superweapon is just arbitrary at this point.
Yeah.
I know.
Kind of.
I feel like it's just so subjective. Because you can consider so many things in Star Wars a superweapon, even though it doesn't seem like a superweapon.
Yeah. So, next good one.
Just like
this
how
time on
is technically a T, so yeah.
This time on the Republic side. So once again in the Clone Wars. Okay. You guys know what planet Malastare is, right?
No.
It's the homeworld of the Dugs. Suboba.
The hell's Suboba?
Okay,
the pod racer who Anakin didn't like in episode 1.
The weird one with the weird jaw?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the homeworld of the Dugs.
Okay.
Not the Doge. So during the Battle of Malastare, there were so many droids that the Republic, the Republic are always outnumbered 1,000,000 in these battles. So they decided, fuck it, we're going to unleash a experimental superweapon, which is called the Electro-Proton Bomb. It's basically like a nuclear weapon, but for droids.
Basically another big-ass EMP.
Yeah, a big-ass EMP. And it just decimated an entire army of battle droids.
Yet again, that just seems so lackluster in comparison to the giant ship that is.
But wait, there's more. So when they dropped this super weapon, its intended purpose was, to wipe out all the droids. The unintentional consequences is that it created a unstable fissure that just collapsed the entire Earth of the impact. and it woke up the Star Wars equivalent of Godzilla.
Which is...
The Zilla Beast.
Did they control it, or no?
No. I mean, they captured it, sure, but it's basically the Star Wars equivalent to the Godzilla.
Oh,
Could
yay.
the Force manipulate its brain, or no?
We'll talk about the Zilla Beast in another episode.
No!
We could talk about
The
monsters.
Zilla Beast
Yeah.
can be manipulated in... The discussion is super weapons. You can manipulate the Zilla Beast into a potential super weapon, correct?
Yeah. I mean, there was an unfinished episode where Palpatine basically cloned the Zilla Beast.
Jesus.
A Clone Wars episode?
Yeah, it's an unfinished episode. There's a lot of unfinished
Did you guys
episodes.
pull that up, Hannah? The Zilla Beast? I wanted to look this up.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up.
It's pretty cool.
We'll save that for another time. It's like,
It's
what?
another time.
It's like, oh yeah, by the way, I think the Super Wars... We'll save that for another time, kid. It's like, what? Well, we're saving
This is
everything
the
for
theme.
another time.
We could be talking about Grievous, but we're going to be talking about super weapons and all the...
Grievous is technically a super weapon!
You say it's the equivalent of Godzilla. This is a giant fuck off lizard. Like,
What?
that's what I was thinking.
Well, long story short, it did cause a rampage in Coruscant.
Okay, apparently, ladies and gentlemen, edit this in, Isaac. This is not a super weapon, according to...
It's a kaiju, yes.
According to Isaac. You can't make this into a super weapon.
Shut the fuck up.
No, it's like Clones, not a super weapon. Grievous, not a super weapon.
Look, I'm looking at the categories of super weapons.
Okay.
We're looking at every single... Like, every time I try to bring some super weapon, you're like, no, it's not a super weapon.
Okay, technically, yes. Clones, Zilla Beasts can be qualified as super weapons, but that's not what Star Wars calls them, okay?
Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
If we're going by the definition of something that requires a lot of resources and can destroy a planet, the EMP isn't either. So...
It's labeled as a super weapon. Sue me.
Okay, well, they need to get their arbitrary acts together then.
Okay. Last super weapon from the Clone Wars. So the Separatists, of course, they made another weapon called the Defoliator tank. You know those floaty tanks that the Separatists love to use?
The floaty tanks?
Yeah.
The hover tanks, you know, this giant big fuck-off cannon?
Yes.
So they modified one, and the cannon launches a shell. It's called the Defoliator. And what it does, they impact an area, and it destroys all organic life around it, leaving droids unharmed.
Basically a bomb.
A bomb.
It's poisonous?
Yeah, it's poisonous.
Oh.
It just burns everything around it.
So it's just chemical warfare. It's just what is it? Not plasma, what is it?
Agent Orange.
No.
Are you talking about napalm?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a glorified napalm.
No, because like napalm makes things hot and it sticks you. It's sticky. It burns you.
And it's a useful weapon when you have an entire army of synthetic beings and your opponents are organic.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's very much a war crime.
Yeah.
That's a war.
Yeah, I remember Grievous used that weapon against the Night Sisters.
The Clone Wars was supposed to be a kid show. Yeah, it's not.
So now we go to the Imperial era. This is where there's a lot of super weapons. I will tell you this right now. The Empire loves their super weapons.
Of course. Because Palpatine has to compensate for something.
Yeah. Dude, you know that meme of that kid who's sitting next to his high school crush and he's sweating really hard?
You know, I felt like everything could have been fixed so easily from Palpatine getting thrown in the
reactor pit.
The
yeah.
reactor, if they just created a glass wall. No, he has a throne room.
Yeah.
And in that throne room, he has a bridge, and he has all these interconnected layouts. But he doesn't have glass protecting him from the reactor's potential electricity.
Because he's a cocky shit.
I know. But
He doesn't think it will kill
I
him.
know, but at the same time, that's just a hazard error. What if he just, one day he just slipped and he fucking fell? Yeah, like, what if he just, I don't know. What if he just he mistakenly, couldn't, eat ass that day and he just
When we dying. Oh, fuck.
I mean, questioning Palpatine's fondness for super weapons aside.
Wait a minute. Why didn't he just... He's really proficient in the Force, right?
Yeah.
You can levitate with the Force. Why didn't he just... When he was thrown, why didn't he just... What the fuck?
He's a stupid old man.
Oh, God.
I'm just pissed now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my cheeks.
Okay, so the Death Stars technically were a separatist creation because the schematics were provided by the Geonosians, Pago the Lesser, and all that.
Yep.
And here's this entire novel called Catalyst. You remember Director Krennic from the Rogue One?
I've never seen Rogue One.
Okay.
Jinx.
Jeez. So long story short, there's this douchebag director who, quote unquote, created a Death Star. But in the novel, he made a deal with Pago the Lesser because he met up with several other heads of the Republic, and they wanted to make a super weapon to fight back against the Separatists because rumors they're also making a giant fuck off laser. So he took the credit from the Geonosians and had them be a slave force for the Death Star. And yeah, technically the Death Stars were a separatist creation, but ultimately it's owned by the Galactic Empire.
I'm trying to think of other super weapons that I've possibly seen in the show, but I don't know if we can consider them.
So, speaking of shows, in Rebels, there's this super weapon called the Arc Pulse Generator. It's basically this giant... I don't know how to describe it. It's a generator. It's a spherical-looking generator. And it's designed to target Beskar. You know, the armor that's worn by the Mandalorians.
Wait, is it an individual... you only can kill one person with it?
No. You could kill a shit ton of people.
How many?
Jesus.
Okay, so it specifically targets Beskar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you set it in the field, so in the show, it's mounted on a chicken walker, and they sent it against a platoon of Mandalorians who were preparing to fight the Imperials, and it just... And it superheats their armor that it disintegrates the wearer.
Jesus.
But it doesn't destroy the Beskar?
It superheats the Beskar. It just leaves nothing but ash and remnants of the Beskar armor.
Huh.
So basically, you are trapped in your armor as you are microwaved to death.
Yep.
Well, actually,
Fuck!
That's not a bad strategy when you look at it, because if you just superheat a metal, or if you have a metal on someone that is impenetrable, you can't impact it enough.
Yeah.
You can't slash through it. You can't hit it through blunt force trauma. Superheating it to the point where the user is cooked alive,
that's a pretty bad way to
go. Actually, they don't even need to destroy the Beskar.
Yeah.
All they do is superheat the Beskar armor, kill the individual inside of them, then take the armor off them and take it for themselves. I don't know why they're destroying it at that.
Yeah.
They're not destroying the Beskar. It's more like they're superheating it and just leaving it across the battlefield.
Why not just take it with you? That's alright. The Beskar is super,
yeah.
It's a million.
I'm pretty sure the Imperials did take it at some point. Whatever. And so the nice thing about the Arc Pulse Generator is that it targets Beskar, but it leaves all other material alone. The Stormtroopers have this specific material in their armor. I can't remember what it is. I think it's plasteel, I think it's called. It's like plastic, but with the strength of steel.
Mm-hmm.
And the Stormtroopers are just la 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 as the Arc Generator just goes around them because it's targeting the Beskar, not theirs. But you could also have it focus on other armor material if you really want to. Instead of Beskar, it could target steel, for example, or something like that. And you want to know who created the super weapon?
Who?
Sabine Wren, one of the main characters from Rebels. She's the Mandalorian chick who does graffiti and shit.
I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Ow!
I actually don't know who you're talking about.
You'll have to show a picture of her later. But this was...
I haven't even seen Rebels and I know exactly who you're talking about!
So Sabine Wren, before she joined the main cast of Rebels, she was part of the Imperial Academy, and she thought, I'm going to make a super weapon to target my people's most...
Wait, is she smart? Or
Yeah, she's smart.
She's a Mandalorian?
Yeah. She was recruited in the...
Why does she have, like, Simpsons-colored skin?
That's probably the art style of Rebels, but...
Yeah, the art style of Rebels is not very good.
It's a little bit weird, but...
I mean, isn't it just like... I mean, their lightsabers are very thin.
Yeah, that's the original concept. Ralph McQuarrie's concept art is that the lightsaber, instead of being thick, it was actually pretty thin.
Why?
I don't know, that was just the... Recent shows have loved to reuse Ralph McQuarrie's concept art, and I can see that.
It was super thin. Like, the sabers are actually super thin.
I wouldn't say super thin, like wire thin, but it's pretty thin.
If it was wire, then how the fuck are you still...
It's like, I've seen, like, with Ahsoka, her lightsabers would be about as long, as, like, thick as that lamp pole.
Yeah.
So, like, usually a saber is like around this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they kind of made it so it's like this.
Yeah.
About.
Or half of this.
In case everybody's wondering, we're using our microphones as references.
Like the microphone arms.
Yeah. And you want to know what Sabine named the arc post generator?
What?
The Duchess.
That's cool.
As a huge fuck you.
I like
it. In the fucking episode, even what's her face? Who's the sister of the Duchess? I can't remember her name right now.
Bo-Katan?
Bo-Katan.
How did you not remember that?
Shut the fuck up. Even Bo-Katan was like, you named this thing that's killing my people after my sister? And
Karma, bitch.
And Sabine's like, it was a different time. I was naive, okay?
No, it's called karma.
I do like Beskar armor. It's not the armor, but are we just going to consider Beskar in a way a super weapon? It is.
Technically,
yeah. It is.
In some super weapons, it is. Subcategory.
Yeah. It's a super weapon that you can make into a fork.
Yeah. You can make an unbreakable gun with it.
Yeah.
You can make an unbreakable sword with it.
Mm-hmm.
It can survive missile strikes.
Oh, yeah.
It can survive a nuclear explosion.
Okay. So moving on to super weapons. We also have specific ship types made by the Empire. This is a cool one, the Onager class Star Destroyer. I want you to think of a regular Star Destroyer, but it's kind of shaped like a T, and it's got this giant mass driver cannon in the front of it. It's like a rail gun, and it's used to it's used as a siege platform to collapse mountains and shit.
I have no idea what this thing looks like. So.
Oh, okay.
That's very strange looking, but okay.
Yeah, it's got a giant mass driver cannon that it uses to destroy rebel bases that are hiding under mountains and shit. And like a lot of it's also powered by kyber crystals.
Everything's
I know.
It is worth the cost. Holy fuck.
How much is it?
3,756, probably 1,500,000 credits.
I would have thought like $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Now, I will admit, compared to the Death Star, it's probably a more practical weapon.
It's a lot of
You could produce like a shit ton of those and go to rebel outposts and bum the fuck out of them.
I had power plant kyber crystals.
Yeah.
How did the rebels ever win again?
Yeah, usually plot armor.
Plot armor. Let's say that.
The Force.
Then we're still in canon, by the way. We'll get to the good stuff in a little bit. Just going to go through these. Now, this is through a book called The Rebel Files, which is basically like a little handbook that the rebels use. You could actually buy it and take a look at it.
Just like with the Book of the Sith.
Yeah, yeah. And like they have notes and everything next to it. It's pretty cool. So this is from the Rebels' perspective. There are like a lot of rumored super weapons that they think that the Empire might be using. There's the Mass Shadow Generator, which is basically a weapon that exists in both real space and hyperspace. If you don't know, hyperspace is its own separate dimension in Star Wars. And a weapon that could basically say, hey, what's up? Fuck you. And just destroy you in hyperspace is really scary.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah. It's really terrifying.
If you technically every ship is a super weapon. No. You know why?
Yeah.
Light speed ramming.
We don't talk about that
No,
movie.
we're talking about. So apparently, every ship is a super weapon because you just light speed ram everything.
I'm pretty sure there's a lore reason behind why they don't use that more often.
Hey, they don't explain why they don't use it.
That is true. That is very true.
There are so many incontinuities.
Yeah.
Or incontinuities.
It was so funny. Leia's just in space, no fucking mask, no force training, nothing. Should have had her head freeze or explode. Reaches out her hand like a mother grasping for air as she forces herself into a ship.
A co-worker said this best. She Mary Poppins her way out of there.
I mean,
fucking Mary Poppins.
It was so stupid. It was just. I was just wondering. It's like, can we classify lightspeed ramming ships as super weapons?
It's a tactic. We'll just give it as
It's
that.
a tactic, but every ship can do it.
Yeah. Oh.
Thus, it is indeed a super weapon.
Yeah, your burp is a super weapon, kid.
Indeed.
we have peaked so many times.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Then we have the torpedo sphere, which is basically a giant disc-shaped siege platform that contains a fuckload of missiles.
Wait, speaking of missiles,
Yeah.
you did tell me, aren't there sentient missiles?
Yeah. They're called smart missiles.
Are we considering those super weapons? Because it's not like a heat-seeking missile where you can potentially eventually dodge it.
Yeah.
It knows where you're going.
Yeah.
It knows how to follow you.
Yeah.
It has intelligence.
Yeah.
But at that point, would it just not...
But it's limited intelligence, probably.
Well, no, because didn't you say that they can gain sentience and...
Yeah, I remember a piece of lore somewhere. It was in the new Essential Guide to Droids. Like, there's sentient smart missiles to the point where, there's this...
Why would you make that? Why would you make that?
That doesn't make sense.
There's like a social justice group or something like that. It's like, yeah, smart missiles must live with us, and they try to free them, and they get exploded in the process.
Well, no, like when you really look at their movement, though, it makes sense. You have beings that are sentient, that can feel sadness, sorrow, anger, joy, have the same sentient abilities as humans.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
They were made by the separatists, right?
Yeah.
To be a deadly weapon to suffer and die eventually of their non-consent and non-volition to do something. Should that being have a right to live? I would say yes.
But
Just because you're made for a purpose doesn't mean you have to fulfill that purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, but a lot of people like to forget that guy. Like, oh, you're a droid, whatever. You're a piece of equipment.
Let's say you made your son for the reason that you just want to kill your son. Is that right, just to kill your son? No, of course not.
No.
And same thing could be said with the clones, but...
Yeah.
Well, yes, I agree. We agree. But no, I think that activist missile lives matter.
Yeah, activist missile lives. That should be a thing now.
But I think those missiles...
We should liberate those AIM missiles that the military uses.
Dude, it makes too much fucking sense for them not to be liberated. They're sentient. They can feel joy, sadness, happiness. They have friends.
Well, I'm not sure about the missiles, but the droids do, yeah.
Yes. Aren't the missiles droids?
They're sentient. I wouldn't classify them as droids, more like self-aware weapons or something like that.
Well, okay.
So
semantics.
I'm asking, is the missile just a missile that has AI where it just sees and then hits something?
Yeah.
Or is it higher intelligence?
It just sees and targets whatever.
That is so weird.
I know.
Does it feel?
I told you Star Wars is weird.
No, does it feel? If it feels, then I think those people have a point. If it doesn't feel and it's just, it's like a camera, I don't really care.
I'm not at that point where I could say yes. I would need to do more research about it.
Can we all agree that if missiles are sentient and they can feel joy, feel sadness, feel love, have a higher sentient being form where they can actually feel pain and suffering, joy and harmony and all of these things, that they have a right to have bodily autonomy and wish to do what they want? We can agree with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Star Wars, where even missiles can feel.
Anyone who disagrees with me is just a fucking idiot.
Anyway, so next we have the Omega Frost, which is basically a giant interstellar freeze ray. Yeah. And then
Freeze ray.
no, it's Mr. Freeze. He
I
has
was
his
just about to
giant
say,
freeze gun.
Mr.
and he
Freeze,
just-
migrated to Star Wars?
Yeah, how big is the freeze ray?
And then last but not least, for the Empire side, we got the Electro Proton Bomb / Defoliator. It's basically a bomb that kills
How
everything.
big is the
Jesus.
freeze ray?
So it's like it. So again, this is rumored. Like they throw the name around. They don't know if it actually exists. And if it does, the rebels have a couple of questions for Palpatine and his military budget.
This just seems like a waste of money.
Yeah. You'll see that as we get into Legends. I will admit, as much as I fucking hate the Disney canon, with the exception
Disney
of a couple.
canon sucks!
Yeah, with the exception of a couple things, because they've introduced a lot of great
Yeah,
things.
true.
The Disney canon, like, I don't care if you have plot holes. I just care about character writing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Character writing is just so subpar. It's so bad. It's not very good. They don't explain things. They don't even make the characters even remotely like a fucking. It's like Poe. Like, who's the purple-haired lady
God,
again?
Hondo.
Hondo's her name?
No,
Holdo.
Holdo? No, the purple-haired lady.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Mon
Hang on.
Mothma, right?
Momo. Holdo. I think that's what her name is. Holdo. Yeah, Vice Admiral Holdo. There we go.
Okay.
It's not like they could have made her like such a better character,
Yeah,
because in the movie it seems
she's
as
a outright bitch.
well, yeah, but in the movie they specify that she disagrees with Poe with something, with a battle tactic.
Yeah.
Hold up. I gotta sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you.
His sneezes could be super weapons.
But they disagree on some sort of battle strategy or some sort of like planning or movement or something, right?
Yeah.
I think they correct me if I'm wrong, but you've seen this movie, right?
Yeah, I've seen.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because if I'm wrong, well, these nerds will get it.
You'll get actually so hard.
But Poe and Holdon were arguing about some weird strategy, tactic, whatever, and then Poe gets knocked out, and it seems that Holdon was victorious in her strategy to commit to it.
Yeah.
Then she just takes Poe's idea and is like, you know what, let's go with my idea in the first place. She didn't even stick with her plan. She didn't even commit to it. She literally tossed it out of the fucking way.
So if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I saw The Last Jedi. But the basic idea is there's like one ship left in the Resistance fleet or whatever. And Holdo's idea, basically, they were under siege by the First Order fleet or whatever. And her idea is to basically wait it out. And Poe's like, I don't fucking like this. And he tries he sends somebody to get some help to sabotage the Star Destroyer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Poe does a mutiny because he doesn't like Holdo's idea to just wait it out while they're being shot at. So he mutinies, and then fucking Princess Leia comes back because she was unconscious at the time, stuns Poe, and they go into escape ships, which is fucking stupid. Why didn't you do that in the first fucking place?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And then Holdo just suicide bombs the Star Destroyer.
So she
Shit
dies?
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know.
She dies?
Yeah. She goes down with her ship.
Wait a minute. Wait, so
Spoilers!
you have a ship that's stuck somewhere, and the general consensus is wait it out for backup or leave the area.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, the idea is they were running low on fuel, which is why they were hunkering down.
Well, what else could they have done? Waited for, if they don't move, what's gonna happen?
I think the idea was they were waiting for reinforcements, but Holdo was not sharing information
But
with Poe.
Why? Why?
That's just like that's a way to completely fuck your
platoon.
Your platoon.
I think the idea that Rian Johnson has is to not, I don't know, challenge leadership or something like
But
that.
that's not good.
I know
That's
it's
not-
it's
isn't good.
stupid.
That's just dogma.
Yeah.
You're literally telling your troops, do what I say.
Do what I say or else.
It's like you're telling them do what I say, but you're not explaining why.
Exactly.
You're not explaining to them why they need to listen to you.
It's like the equivalent of, okay, we're just gonna sit here and do nothing.
Why?
Really? I can't tell you, it's a secret.
It's like, tell me so I can figure out what the hell your strategy is. Because if you don't tell me, I'm going to fucking lose my shit. And oh my god, I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah, you're
it's,
peeking.
I know, it's stupid. Anyway, we'll talk about bad plot later. One thing I will say that Disney does well is that, as you notice, there's not that many super weapons. A lot of them are kind of underwhelming, with the exception of the Death Stars, which you can
Not that
blow up
many.
planets.
There are 130.
A lot of them just are unorthodox weapons that burn people or kill people or whatever.
Yep.
But we're going to immediately throw that out the window and talk about Starkiller Base.
Ah, fuck.
This is just the Death Star. What is there to really reiterate besides the fact that it's Death Star?
I just imagine the First Order board meeting. They're all like, okay, we need to develop a super weapon that will make the galaxy fear us. What are we going to do? I know. We're going to make a Death Star, but the size of a planet. Genius.
Wait, wasn't the Death Star originally already the size of a... Well,
It's a size of a moon. Starkiller Base is literally a planet with a giant laser.
Oh my god. I just realized how stupid that is.
Yeah.
Because, so you already have a base the size of the moon that can destroy a planet.
Why have a planet-sized base that can destroy another planet?
If you already have a smaller one that takes up less resources that can still destroy a planet.
Kylo Ren is a fucking idiot.
No, more like Snoke is an idiot.
Yeah, Snoke is a retard.
When you really think about it, that makes zero sense. Because
It does make zero sense.
A moon-sized thing is a lot of resources. A planet is more resources.
It's a fuck ton of resources.
The moon-sized thing can already destroy a planet. So, you can already manufacture so many mini... You can just manufacture a bunch of Death Stars rather than just manufacture one. So, why would you make a one big-sized planet Death Star if you can just make a bunch of moon-sized Death Stars with the resources that you've allocated? God, I fucking hate this shit!
Yeah, Disney had an ounce of subtlety and then threw it out the window.
Exactly.
So, okay. This is also something kind of fucked up about Starkiller Base. You want to know the fucking planet that they built that they made Starkiller Base into?
What?
Oh, okay. So I'll give you... There's spoilers for any of the audience.
No one cares!
Okay. Starkiller Base was once the planet Ilum.
Why?
What the hell is Ilum again? I don't, dude, I'm
it's
not
the
familiar.
world where the Jedi...
Why Ilum?
Where they what?
Where they get the lightsaber crystals.
Why is that?
A fucking ice planet full of crystals.
Wait, why is that contentious again?
So it's important to the Jedi. They go there to build their lightsabers and
Yeah,
shit.
but the Jedi died. The only ones that were left were the one Luke was trying to build. Yeah. And I doubt that only a couple of his youngling Jedis and himself can defend against an entire empire.
So yeah, Ilum was... During the era of the Empire, it was strip mined because, kyber crystals.
Yeah,
they need to strip mine that
So
shit.
you need to take it. Also, when you're building, don't kyber crystals get super hot, so being on an ice planet will cool them down,
I don't know the exact, I want to say, anatomy of the kyber crystals because they are technically sentient beings, but I don't know. Point is, during the era of the Empire, they strip mined it and they converted it into Starkiller Base, which the First Order eventually adopted.
Okay.
Why the fuck would you choose Ilum? That's as bad as choosing fucking Hoth. They're both frozen fucking wastelands.
But if you think about it, like, basically the rebels are blowing up a world which the Jedi hold sacred once.
Well, also, like, why would you...
But the Jedi are dead!
but also, why would you not, though? Because you have crystals you can take it from abundance to put into your giant deadly weapon. And if they get hot, you're on a cold planet, and it's pretty desolate and easy to... Not easy to build stuff there, but no one's gonna bother you. Who the fuck's gonna go to Ilum?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's... I see.
Then what's the contentious aspect of it? You know?
And like, so... This was something I was looking at when I was researching Starkiller Base.
Dick moved to Leia and just remodeled it after Alderaan.
Yeah. This was something I was researching on Starkiller Base because I was a little bit curious. So, okay, so Starkiller Base is powered by kyber crystals, just like the Death Star.
Yes.
And it absorbs the energy of a nearby star so it could power up said weapon.
So it's like a Dyson sphere?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Dyson sphere.
What is the point? What the fuck was wrong with the original... Oh my god, I'm... Every time we keep talking, I slowly get more pissed off at the new movies. It's so idiotic.
Disney!
You're gonna be pissed off more at what I'm about to tell you. I'll tell you. So I was looking at a line of text. Okay, it's powered by crystals. It's also powered by energy from a nearby sun.
Why did you take the blueprint of the old fucking Death Star?
I know.
Okay, continuing on. Like, crystals, sun. That's fine. And then I see a line of text.
No, it's not! Because what's the point of the sun shit?
What were you gonna say?
Go ahead.
So I see a line of text. It's also powered by an energy source called quintessence. I'm like, what the fuck is quintessence?
What?
Yeah, it literally says quintessence. And, I click on it. And so from what I gather, it's something that is expanded upon in the novelization of The Force Awakens. Basically, quintessence is an energy source that's throughout the universe. It's this unseen power source, and the First Order managed to harness its power and its, quote, unlimited power source, which they use to power Starkiller Base's super laser.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
That
doesn't make sense!
Yeah, quintessence. The most edgy fucking name ever.
Wait. Let me get this straight. So, quintessence is infinite energy.
Yes.
So you have an infinite energy source.
Uh-huh. I know what you're going to say.
Why the fuck? Why do you need the sun or the kyber crystal? Why do you need them? Why don't you just use... I'm a fucking shit, Isaac. Seriously.
Now you see why I think that's fucking stupid.
Well, no, like, it doesn't make sense. Why do you need... Like, this is like having a tank that runs on oil, right?
Yeah.
But then...
It's also powered by solar energy.
And diesel!
So it's powered by oil, solar energy, but then you come up with a scientific mathematical equation and method to make it so that tanks can run off their own energy source kinetically without ever needing fossil fuels or solar ever again.
Yeah.
Efficiently, infinitely,
it doesn't make sense.
In some bizarro land, and then you still make it run on diesel and solar! Why?
From what I could gather, I think they added it's powered by quintessence energy because they want an explanation for why so many people saw the Starkiller Base laser from across the galaxy.
Why don't you just
Who fucking cares?
Why don't you use quintessence? Why do you use kyber crystals? Why do you use any other fucking method except quintessence? If it's infinite energy, you don't need the other two options. I'm getting where you're going.
Yeah.
I'm getting... Fuck!
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. And it's never heard from again. Yeah, you could have used it for your fucking Star Destroyers or whatever. But no, you used it for Starkiller Base.
Thank you, Disney.
I think I peaked.
There are so many peaks.
Yeah.
I've been watching it.
So yeah.
Thank you, our great Disney overlords.
So this is the end of our roasting session for Starkiller Base. Now we're going to go ahead for more roasting on other dumb super
Well, I
weapons.
always thought Starkiller Base was stupid because it was just bigger Death Star.
Bigger Death
Even
Star.
though that's
Yeah.
a waste of resources, and you could possibly just create a bunch of smaller Death Stars. It's
Yeah.
a waste of resources. There's no need for it.
Oh,
It's like it can destroy a planet, but the Death Star could do the same. Why even fix something like that? But now that I know that they had an infinite energy source and they're trying to use other energy sources with it, I wanted to shit myself.
Okay.
We're gonna have to have a headphone warning for
Yeah.
users.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get out of here with Starkiller Base, you want to know how they destroy it?
Didn't they?
Ow.
I forgot they shot it, didn't it? Was it the same thing as like the?
Pretty much.
If it's the same thing as Empire Strikes, not Empire Strikes, A New Hope, I don't really give a shit. It's whatever. It's like, okay, that's
Like,
how you did it anyway.
There was literally a scene where they look up the plans for Starkiller Base and Han Solo is like, there's gotta be a weak point on here, right? And they're like, boop, there's a weak point right there.
I think that's just for comedic purposes.
Yeah, I know.
I think it
That's
was
so fucking
I think it's just
stupid.
paying homage to the old movie.
I know.
I don't really care
I
about
know.
that. I don't care about that contention. I care about the fact that they made something bigger, gave it infinite energy, and still being inefficient with it.
And like, okay, so Starkiller Base destroys entire star systems. Like, ooh, so scary.
Why didn't Starkiller Base would be so much more fucking interesting if it was like rather than one planet or just being the Death Star but bigger, it could actually destroy, I don't know, a fucking galaxy.
Yeah, that would be pretty intimidating. Like, instead of, okay, we're gonna shoot. So, in the movie, they used the Starkiller Base to destroy a New Republic system, the capital or
I
whatever.
mean, this is really stupid, but if you really want to be not Deus Ex, but be really big bad boy.
Yeah,
If you really,
big dick motherfucker.
If you really want to be that BBG, if you really want to be like, big bad,
Yeah.
you can just make it so it's like, oh, whenever I use this massive death ball machine, I cut off the force from every living being for an instant or some shit. I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me fucking something.
So, like, okay, final super weapon in canon. We got, this is from The Rise of Skywalker. You remember all those Star Destroyers that have those giant fuck-up cannons that destroy planets?
The ones that came out of the ice when Palpatine
Yeah.
resurrected.
Yeah, those are super weapons. I forget what they're called. They're called Zeiston's class Star Destroyers.
Hmm.
Or something fucking weird like that. It's basically like the Onager,
So
but
basically, they were sitting in the ice for fuck all time.
on Exegol or whatever.
On Exegol.
Yeah. I know Kid has no context.
Well, wait, there is a super weapon I think I really liked. It was, oh no, that wasn't a super weapon. That was just a natural disaster.
Yeah.
So remember when I was working, I'm not gonna say the place we worked at, but
Yeah.
For context, worked with the bus company, and one of our coworkers had an audiobook, and I was listening to a Star Wars audiobook.
Oh yeah.
I forget what the book was called.
Was it Dooku?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Dooku, Jedi something.
Jedi Lost.
Really
I have
good
the book.
It's a really good book.
One of my favorite scenes was when the planet had a fire devastation with Bacta on it, and they had
Oh,
to.
yeah.
It was a
Where
very interesting
that was
scene.
when Sifo Dyas foresaw it, and they were
Yep.
trying to prevent it.
Which I don't understand. Why didn't they intervene? It's so fucking stupid.
Well,
But that's beside the point.
yeah. Okay.
Biological super weapons in a sense.
Oh yeah, they have biological super weapons.
Well, what I'm talking about is a creature. What was that creature that Dooku controlled?
It was a Crit Dragon.
It wasn't a crate dragon.
Oh,
it
no, it was a something dragon from Sereno.
It was a specific, like, Sereno.
Does he still
Creature.
have that?
No,
No.
not that I know of.
But are we going to consider that a super weapon or no?
Okay, sure, why not?
Could be.
Now, we go into the interesting stuff, so let's talk about Legends. So,
I know nothing of Disney War Legends. All I know is very little.
okay, so I will admit, Legends is kind of stupid, but it's that fun kind of stupid.
Yeah.
It's the stupid that you want to wake up in the morning to.
Lightsaber whips, really?
Light whips, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of ancient super weapons back before the Republic was a thing, before the Sith were a thing. Let's see. There's, like, 2 ancient space stations. There's Centerpoint Station and Sinkhole Station. Why are these so important, you might be thinking? Well, basically, they have a shit ton of tractor beams built into them, and they have enough power to move celestial bodies, such as planets, stars, and black holes.
Jesus.
You know, I'm not really... The reason I'm not impressed is because Star Wars does crazy shit. Like, in Legends, there's people who can shut black holes with their hands.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed.
Can't Luke?
And, like, there's
They might be able to close black holes, but can they close the emptiness in their heart?
The true treasure was the friends we made along the way.
Exactly.
The Force might be strong, but it's like the Force might be with us all. You know what also is with us all? Family.
Oh my god. If you pull up that fucking meme, I'm gonna slap you.
Dude, Vin Diesel is like the best. He's stronger than the Force.
Oh god. Anyway, so probably one of the more famous pre-Republic super weapons is something called the Starforge. I'll show you a picture of the Starforge later. It's made by the Infinite Empire, which is one of the first galaxy-spanning empires in the Star Wars universe. They're pretty cool. Basically, they use the dark side of the Force to power their technology, their starships and whatever. Pretty cool. Why are you showing them?
I fucking love the dog.
It's
so
to.
stupid.
Van Diesel memes for context.
Dom.
The Dom Toretto meme.
Like, fuck me. So, okay, what was I talking about? Starforge. So it's basically this giant-ass space station. So you know how Starkiller Base absorbs the energy of a nearby star to power its super laser?
I just don't get that, because they already have infinite energy.
Well, we'll get to that. So, the Starforge, it basically absorbs the energy of a nearby star, and it uses that to create material. So it uses that to create weapons, droids, and starships. It basically creates an infinite supply of all of them.
No.
So, like, instead of a giant fuck-off super laser, it creates an entire armada of ships to fuck you up.
Well, you know what I never got? Why did the Empire, because this relates to superweapons and armies and strategy.
Yeah.
Why did the Empire switch from droids to stormtroopers?
I think it's also the implication that, you know, half of the galaxy got fucked up by the armies of the Separatists, so a lot of people would be like, ooh, droids, get away from me.
Yeah, true.
but they don't have a choice. I mean, you're right, under a tyrannical dictator authoritarian anyways.
I mean, would you prefer to have civilians that at least have a little bit of respect for you, or would you rather have citizens that would rise up against you at a flick of a hat?
I just don't think Palpatine cares, though, you know? It just doesn't make
But
sense.
he's so disgustingly powerful.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it just doesn't... Well, here's the thing. This is the thing I don't get. Droids are just efficient. You can mass produce them. Humans, they die. You have to pay them. You have to give them incentive. You have to do all this shit. You don't have to do that with a droid. You just mass produce them in some machine factory that they've been doing for like ages. You don't even have to consider like medical equipment. You can just fix them up, make them into big fucking scary things. People will be scared of you. People won't want to even deal with you. Why did he switch to troopers?
Again, politics. And nobody really loves droids nowadays.
Well, of course, but I don't think Palpatine cares if you love him.
I mean, true, but anyway, semantics. So, this is an interesting one. So, there's a super weapon called the Shotgun device. It's basically this little bomb that's on this planet called Shotgun. And
Shit.
So, here's where it gets interesting. So if somebody sets off this little device, it just implodes Shotgun. And as a result of that, debris of a planet go into hyperspace and impact other planets. What? And it causes a chain reaction so devastating, it destroys all matter and destroys the entire galaxy.
What?
Fuck.
I'm confused.
Jeez.
So you have how big is this thing?
It's unknown. It's basically a little bomb that they placed on this planet to implode it.
So it's a bomb.
Yeah, it's basically a bomb.
So it's a small bomb,
Mm-hmm.
and the small bomb basically takes it sucks things up, right?
No. So the bomb is placed on this planet called Shakin. It destroys it, and the debris of the planet go into hyperspace all across the galaxy, implode on other planets, causing a chain reaction.
So the bomb explodes a planet,
Yes.
and the planet's shrapnel impacts other worlds so strong that all the planets just explode.
Yeah, until all matter is destroyed and the galaxy is just nothing but dust.
Jesus.
Wouldn't the matter eventually just dissipate into nothing? Like, you know how an asteroid would hit Earth, the atmosphere eventually just makes it, like, non-existent?
Yeah.
Dust? Wouldn't that just happen, too?
Yeah. And, like, the general idea is that, oh, we need a new universe. Boop. It's...
Star Wars logic.
I know. If I remember correctly,
Why would you make that? Why would you make that?
Because someone is fucking sick.
Yeah,
That's
this
why.
was... we don't know who made the weapon, but somebody out there was like, this universe kind of sucks. I'm gonna make a dead man switch to blow up this entire planet and erase all of existence or whatever.
It's all of existence?
Not all of existence, just the Star Wars galaxy.
Actually, no, I can understand that. No. Looking back, I can actually 100% see why.
Yeah. I think it was made in one of the original Marvel Star Wars comics back when it was a new thing.
Instead of I don't want to live on this planet anymore, I don't want to live
I
in
want
this
to live in this galaxy
anymore.
anymore. I could just imagine some depressed dude who found out about this device, like, I don't want to live anymore, fuck it.
I mean,
are we going to eventually talk more about the gravestone?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do an honorable mention on the gravestone. So moving on, we're gonna do with stuff that we're familiar with. So we know the Sith love their super weapons. So
You've said that how many times?
I know, it's irrelevant at this point.
it's just redundant.
It's
like,
really
it's
redundant.
like, we know the Sith love their super weapons. I think it's the same as how, like, we just get it.
So
I can't even come up with a comparison. We just know.
we're like an hour and 17 minutes into the podcast, so I'll go through these a little bit quickly.
Okay.
So the ancient Sith Empire is fucking ridiculous. They have battleships. Like, it's smaller than your average Star Destroyer, which is like the size, half the size of Flagstaff or whatever.
This is something I don't really like in sci-fi. Is why is every not prehistoric, but like historical technological advancement more advanced in their history rather than in their present?
I've said the same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
Star Wars is really weird with this.
Well, no, because like I've seen this in sci-fi where they have portals that are 10 times more advanced thousands of years ago than they do in their present state. Or they have like ships that are 10 million times faster or 15,000 times larger in their past than in their present. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
So, like, the ancient Sith warships, they're kind of archaic. They're kind of primitive looking. They kind of look a little sloped and boxy. But they also have primitive turbo laser batteries and all that. But what they make up for it, they have these, like, energy crystals. Each one of them has these energy crystals that Sith sorcerers can tap into. And they tap into these crystals, and they gain enough power from it that they could supernova stars.
Shit.
So, like, hey, let's supernova that star. Okay, Darth, bam.
Not impressed. We've already gone through the button that can destroy all of the galaxy.
I know.
That's just kind of meh.
It's kind of meh.
impressed.
Oh, there's also the Thought Bomb, which is pretty cool. So it's basically a force technique where all the Sith basically come together and make this giant fuck-off bomb. And this giant fuck-off bomb.
Thinking of like Siths in hoodies with fucking necktie, blue-colored job waiting in an office cubicle typing fucking letters until the bomb is just made in a factory.
So, like,
That's funny.
it's basically a ritual where all the Sith come together and focus all of their willpower into this one large device. And what they do is that whenever, it's basically transferring their willpower into this device. And when it sets off, it creates such a devastating explosion. It kills all Force users on an entire planet. And that is exactly the weapon that Darth Bane used to kill all the Sith.
Why didn't he use that to kill all the Jedi?
Because it's Darth Bane.
Yeah.
What? What?
Because it's Darth Bane.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was the one who started the rule of two, right?
Yeah. I know, but like, why didn't he just do it twice and then kill the Jedi, then kill the Sith?
Well, there's also the fact that you need a shit ton of Sith to make the thought bomb, and he killed all the Sith.
But wait, how many had to show up to build this bomb?
For all intents and purposes, all of them.
That could be millions.
No, he got off of there.
He got off the planet.
Yeah, he was like, hey
he
guys, do this. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
He got the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe not the entire planet, just a part of the planet. I don't know. I need to read the Darth Bane novels.
So he, destroyed Korriban, or?
No. So they were on this planet called, what was it? Rusan, that's what it's called. So Rusan was the final battleground between the Sith and the Jedi. Between, it's a long-ass story. Maybe it'll be a dedicated episode of its own. But basically, there's a battle between the militant Jedi called the Army of Light and the last of the Sith called the Brotherhood of Darkness. I know, fucking edgy. And Rusan was basically the last battleground between the Sith and the Jedi, and that's where a lot of scholars say that's where the Sith went extinct.
Extinct.
Yeah, except for Bane. Because he's a smart motherfucker.
That was still kind of underwhelming.
Kind of, but still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just an ancient Force ritual that... Just an ancient Force ritual that, hey, everybody, come together. We need to put our thoughts into this thought bomb.
Is it just me, or is every Sith, they just walk back?
I wouldn't say Spencer. I'd say Hot Topic, or both.
Yeah. The tragedy of my life.
Major emo.
So okay, you've played the Old Republic.
Yes.
I've played the Old Republic. Kid hasn't, but
is it an MMO?
Yep.
Yeah, it's an MMO. It's pretty good. Combat is kind of meh, but the story is pretty good.
I love the story, and that's the whole part of why I play it.
I just want good lightsaber fights.
Yeah. So there's oh my god, there is a shit ton of super weapons in SWTOR. From both the Republic and the Sith. I think so on the Republic side, there's this super weapon called the Planet Prison. It was essentially the most quote-unquote humane super weapon ever made. Basically, the concept is that you get a planet, okay? Then you change the atmosphere to ion or whatever. Remember the ion cannon that disables all electronics? Basically, the concept is they transform the atmosphere into ions so that no ship could leave. That's why it's called a planet prison, so nobody could leave.
And that was Republic?
Yep.
Bam.
And then the Sith hijacked it, because of course they did.
Of course.
And they're like, ooh, planet prison, we're gonna weaponize that shit.
I'm surprised with all the inefficiencies of their superweapons, such as Star Killer Base, such as their inefficiencies with cloning, their inefficiencies with the weird jackhammer stomp weapon, their resource mismanagement, their giving sentience to missiles.
Yeah.
All of this shit, I'm surprised they didn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they never did mechs.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Star Wars never did mechs.
There are a couple of mechs in Star Wars, quote unquote, but we'll probably explore those in a separate episode.
If anything, the closest thing I can think of is chicken walkers.
Yeah,
the ATST. Yeah,
they've never done anything like mecha, human mechs though. For example, Warhammer 40k, the Tau, they use mechs. Gundam, they use mechs.
Yeah.
A lot of sci-fi stuff, they use mass mech things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really surprised Star Wars has never exploited the mech craze.
War of Tomorrow, even though it's somewhat sci-fi.
Maybe they'll include that in Visions.
Yeah.
They use some sort of suit mech thing. I am shocked Star Wars has never done giant mecha battles.
Yeah. So
Maybe they'll change the Star Wars edition.
Yeah.
There's also another Republic super weapon. It's called the Shadow Arsenal. It's basically a fuckload of nuclear missiles that are hyperspace capable and that have cloaking devices. And they have basically their payload yield is enough to shake continents. And the Republic plan to use that to bombard a fuckload of Sith Empire homeworlds or whatever. And destroy Droman Kos.
Okay.
And then, of course, I'm going through all of these. I could talk about super weapons for days. There's the Star Razor. Is that what it's called? Yeah. The Star Razor on the Sith Empire site, which is basically a space station that takes the concept of Starforge by absorbing the energy of a nearby star and use it to mass produce super weapons.
So it's a super weapon that produces super weapons.
Exactly.
This just seems overkill.
At this point, you're probably wondering, how is there even a galaxy left after all
Yeah, I
this?
know.
It's just it makes me wonder, for the same thing with this planet, how the fuck are we still alive? There's nuclear bombs everywhere.
True.
There's tanks. There's goddamn
by the way,
devastation, fucking napalm.
By the way, in case you're wondering, yes, nuclear weapons exist in Star Wars.
Of course they do.
If you have a ship that can destroy a planet, I don't not expect it to also have nukes.
Yeah.
If you have a galaxy that has ships that can destroy planets, bombs the size of fucking tables that can destroy an entire galaxy, literally bombs made of conceptual thought of darkness that can kill a group of a specific group of people with a power.
Yeah.
Bombs that heat up metal to the point where it cooks someone alive inside. If you have all of that and you don't have a nuke,
Yeah,
I wouldn't believe you.
Who wouldn't have nukes?
Yeah.
Who would not have nukes?
A lot of people don't like using nukes in Star Wars because you got turbo lasers, which basically do the same amount of damage without the radiation.
Yes.
True.
But, oh man, the Mandalorians loved nuclear weapons.
What's a turbo?
You know, the giant cannons on Star Destroyers and whatever? That's what turbo lasers are.
Oh, so basically a satellite cannon.
Yeah. And also I want to point out, yes, you could cause planetary destruction with just a couple of Star Destroyers. All you have to do is just have them orbit across a planet and commit base Delta Zero.
The plus side about Star Destroyers, though, is it doesn't really make agriculture useless or it doesn't cause radiation. So you can still have that energy be reset back to zero and still make it back into something, right?
Yeah. That's why a lot of people don't like using nuclear weapons in the Star Wars universe.
Then why even... Then at that point, it should just be star nukes in a way. It's just nukes.
I think a lot of... Okay, so, as I said before, Mandalorians love nuclear weapons because they're primitive like that.
Because they be primitive?
Literally.
They're no different.
Okay, so there's this one battle. I forget the planet. But this is during the Mandalorian Wars.
Small brain species.
But there's this Republic world, and the Republic knew that the Mandalorians were invading. So the Mandalorians came, they saw the Republic surrounding the world, and they're like, okay, fuck you, Republic. And they shoot nuclear missiles, and the Republic were like, okay, this is fine, but we have shields and whatever. But the missiles come, and they pass right through the Republic ships and devastate the planet they were protecting.
Damn.
So they're like, fuck you, we're gonna bomb your world anyway.
Yeah, Mandalorians, not based.
No.
Not based at all.
So anyway, moving on. Yeah, there's of course the Eternal Fleet, which is basically an entire fleet of unstoppable ships that could devastate an entire star system.
That were all powered by droids.
Yep.
Not humans.
It's fucking ridiculous. And the Gravestone was the only ship that ever stood a chance against them.
Yep.
I really hope, and I really hope this, well, let's go. Well, I'll get to that later. Mandalorians, the fact that they are willing to use primitive technology as nuclear weapons, where they can just use a satellite cannon, or a giant killer ship,
yeah,
that shoots a laser. head empty. Stupid. No reason. Head empty. But
Head
I
empty.
don't get it. No, it's like, why would you do that though? You make it so the land that you have to retake is unhospitable, unusable, and you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point
At
of
least
that?
for a couple hundred years or
Yeah,
something.
but why? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? Just be in it and be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to jump forward a little bit because, you know, we're running low on time. But
Going to Star Wars Visions though, for first
Yeah.
1 second,
yeah.
I really hope they do Max.
That would be cool.
They already did an umbrella
Lightsaber.
thing, okay? If they don't do Max, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, man. I talked to Hannah about the new waifu, but that
Which one?
Sith's sister
The
with
Sith sister with the
the-
4 arms.
yeah, with the 4 arms. Oh, she's so pretty.
You don't even know how old she is yet, okay? So
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Whatever. I'm simping, okay?
Isn't Visions already out?
No. It comes out in September 31st, I think.
Oh.
Okay. So we're going to jump forward a little bit. So there's this interesting super weapon. You guys remember the Darksaber?
Yes. Who doesn't know what the fuck the Darksaber is?
The Mandalorian black saber thing.
Yeah. Well, before it was that, it was actually a super weapon.
What did it do? It's just
So-
a lightsaber, isn't it?
No. So, okay. I want you to picture a lightsaber, but 1,000 times as big.
Okay.
It's shaped like a lightsaber. It's not a lightsaber. It's basically a super laser made for a HUD crime lord. He wanted to use it to hold plans for ransom or whatever.
So what?
Do
Do you have a knife with you?
A knife?
Yeah, you have like a. Give me the pencil on the fucking table.
Are you gonna stab yourself?
No, I'm not gonna fucking. So, Hannah, can you put the cup on the table so I can use your no, not the cup, but the yeah.
The
that.
coaster?
Yes. So this is a planet.
Yeah.
This is a planet.
Yeah.
This is the.
Darksaber, yeah.
So this fucking planet.
No. It's not
So this planet is holding a fucking knife and just pointing it at this fucking planet. That's some Jersey shit, dude. That's some Jersey shit, okay?
Okay, let me show you a picture of what it looks like, okay? It's not a literal lightsaber. You fucking
I'm just
dingus.
thinking of a floating planet holding a lightsaber, pointing it at another planet, and then being like,
Try me, bitch!
it's
Try me,
like I'm gonna
bitch.
shake you.
Okay, this is what it looks like.
So yeah, it's just a giant lightsaber.
It's shaped like a lightsaber. It's not literally a lightsaber.
So this is what's happening, guys. You have a planet holding a lightsaber, right? Pointing it at another guy, saying, "Give me your money." This is Jersey. Star Wars is Jersey, dude. Look at this. Look at it.
Oh my god.
This is devolved into Jersey, okay?
Okay, so I like to call it the dollar store version of Death Star because it's basically the laser, but without, the sphere that holds the super laser. It's just the laser by itself, surrounded by metal, and it's so unstable that the rebel task force that was sent to sabotage it were all like, "Hey, that's just a disaster waiting to happen." And guess what happened?
What?
It imploded.
If
Of course
it
it
worked,
did.
could it actually destroy a planet?
It could. I mean,
So
he never lived to try.
They were gonna give a mafia boss, a mob lord, a literal death bomb that could kill a fucking planet.
I know it. I told you Star Legends is silly. Anyway.
Imagine giving mob bosses and drug lords and the Hutts literally a fucking weapon to destroy other fucking worlds.
So, okay, we're gonna go to the big boys. The Galactic Empire.
Don't do jack shit about that. You see that shit, you're like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
So, back to the Empire. If it wasn't clear, Palpatine really loved his super weapons.
Yes.
So, okay. So you got your regular Star Destroyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got your Super Star Destroyer, which is the ship that Darth Vader used as a flagship.
Yes.
Then you got your Super Star Destroyer. It's called a Sovereign class Star Destroyer, and it has this giant laser that could crack the crust of a planet or whatever.
Yes.
Then you got your Super Star Destroyer called the Eclipse class Star Destroyer. It's basically Palpatine's personal flagship, and it's so fucking huge. It's around the size of Manhattan, just to give you a perspective. Probably twice the size of Manhattan, actually.
The ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so large that you need to get on a shuttle, to get on the other side of the ship.
Jesus.
Instead of just walking on foot or whatever.
Well, it's Manhattan size. So.
It's Manhattan size, yeah.
Oh.
Palpatine loved his super weapons.
I don't get why you just didn't make 2 Death Stars.
Yeah.
I know,
I mean,
right?
he made 2 Death Stars already.
But
Anyway.
Yeah, eventually, but
Okay. So, those are fun. I like to think of them as pizza slices, because that's basically what they are. You got your regular pizza slice, then you got your pizza slice supreme, then you got your super slice supreme.
how many more pages of this do you have?
Oh, I'm speeding through them. There's also the Galaxy Gun, which is basically a giant space station that's literally a large gun that shoots hyperspace capable shells that destroys planets.
We can summarize. Big ship go boom.
Exactly.
Big ship
Big
go
ship
boom.
got big gun, go boom.
Okay.
Planet gone.
Okay, you think those are stupid? Let me introduce you the most stupid weapon for a concept ever. Okay, so there's this satellite. It's called the Orbital Night Cloak. It's basically a giant satellite dish.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay.
And there's like a large cluster of them, and they surround a planet. You want to know what they do?
Why?
They block out the sun
Why?
What's the point?
to slowly kill the inhabitants of a planet because they don't get sunlight.
So they can't grow their crops, so they can't get any heat, so they can't.
They'd go blind. Because that would happen if the sun went out.
Yeah.
Or you
And
can create your own light source, technically.
yeah,
True.
I was introducing this weapon to a friend of mine once, and he was like, yeah, this would make a great weapon against Superman.
No, the Superman would just fly in the sky before he even blocks out the sun and beat the shit out of all the satellites.
Yeah. Okay. The stupid part. You want to know how you destroy all those satellites?
Load up.
What up, yeah.
So, you go to one satellite, destroy that, and the entire thing collapses.
Of course.
Why did you destroy one?
Is that
There's multiple, aren't there?
It's kind of like picture. You know what? You remember in?
It's like a domino effect.
You remember in? Was it
I swear, it's like the Green Lantern whose fucking weakness is wood.
No, it was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
It was
there
in
you
Guardians
go.
of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
When the whole Nova Corps ships are trying to push back the ship.
Yeah.
One explodes, the rest explode.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
That's so.
You see why I said it was so fucking stupid?
Well, it's just
That's so dumb.
That's such a cliche in fucking sci-fi.
If you destroy one of them, you destroy them all.
So one falls, all of them fall. Why did you design your ship this way? do you think that if a fucking air chief dies in America, that all the other air chief die?
Yeah.
All the other air chief masters die? Fucking assholes.
Okay.
We're not fucking bees. We don't just. Oh no! It's like Steve lost his tail. Oh!
Okay. I'm gonna bomb rush through the rest of these super weapons. They made there's the antimatter bomb, self-explanatory, the gravity gun, the metal crystal phase shifter, visual electromagnetic intensifier, two-wave grav shock, and the gravitatic polarization beam.
Is that it?
There's more. A lot of them are super lasers, but I'm not going to bother with that.
Now, this is why I like interest. Like, when it comes to sci-fi, it's kind of hard for me to get into sci-fi objects or equipment.
Yeah.
Because sci-fi objects or equipment usually are big thing go boom.
Big
Exactly.
thing, go boom.
Or laser.
With Star Wars especially, it's like big thing go boom, laser shoot, planet bye bye.
You know what? This is why, like, okay, I'm a weeb.
Yeah.
As you guys know, I'm a weeb. Nerds also out there, I'm a weeb.
Yeah.
But specifically, this is why I like anime, because in Bleach, there is a weapon that makes it so it's a magic weapon, but if you hold the sword or something, it makes all your allies into your enemies and all of your enemies into your allies. It inverses the personality, everything about them, the opposites. That's why I like that. That's so interesting. Or
I might
like,
have to watch Bleach then.
huh?
I might have to watch that then.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
there's another anime where a character, if he claps, he can switch positions with his friend and teleport them to opposite sides. That's cool.
That reminds me
Yeah.
of an MMO.
Yeah. Or there's ones where it's like I can literally put the concept of infinity on the layer of my skin. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm sick of in sci-fi? They never come up with interesting fucking sci-fi shit. It's just big thing go boom, big thing laser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will admit, a lot of these super lasers, I mean, there are a couple of cool ones, right? We got the
Yeah.
Fraud Bomb, we got the Star
The
Force.
thought bomb is interesting
Yeah.
because it takes like a person's willpower and kills not
Not
a
just
planet.
one person, a lot of
It
people.
doesn't
Yeah.
kill a planet. It just
I mean,
kills
it
an entire
annihilated
group
the
of
entirety of a
people.
Sith minus one.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it phases out unforced users and just kills forced users.
yeah.
And does it to completely destroy the planet.
Yeah.
The bomb that shoots shrapnel that kills everything in the galaxy. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it can ask a philosophical question of whether life should exist beyond, should still even exist in the first place. It provides that question. I don't like things like the Death Star. Though.
Yeah.
It's so
I mean,
fucking.
it popularized the concept of super weapons and all
Yeah,
that.
true.
I mean, I don't even.
Or super lasers.
Yeah.
I think we should just call these like world enders. You know.
So that would be a more appropriate name. But anyway, okay. I'm going to briefly mention the World Devastators because they're also pretty interesting. They're like, okay, so I want you to imagine two boxes hooked together by a little joint or whatever. And they have these. You remember the giant camel walkers? They have those legs on the side?
The AT-ATs.
Yeah, the AT-ATs. So their job is they go to a planet and they use their giant ass tractor beams and they literally rip a planet apart.
Hmm.
And they use the sources of that planet, melt it inside to create war material and manufacture ships and whatever.
So basically, it's a giant floating factory.
Yeah.
Plus destroyer.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, right?
Eh.
Okay, now.
It's kind of hard to get into Star Wars weapons.
I know.
To be honest.
Okay, now, for a grand event, this is probably the, well, mine is the shocking device. It's probably the most powerful super weapon in all of Star Wars. More powerful than the Death Star. More powerful than Starkiller Base, in fact.
What is it?
Okay, I want you to picture a cone. Like an ice cream cone or whatever.
Okay. Yes.
And you got two cannons on the side, like around the rim.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then you have a circular cockpit on top of a cone.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the tip, you got a little satellite dish.
Wait, can you like? Can I have a piece of paper so I can draw it out?
Yeah,
I'm gonna fucking draw this shit out.
Yeah, draw it out and then I'll pull up a picture after he tells us.
Yeah.
Cause this is fucking giving me a fucking weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So you have a cone, okay? So a cone,
Yep.
like this,
Yeah.
and you have a circle on top, right?
Well, not exactly. More like a half circle on top.
So this,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
and then on the top of this you have two guns.
Yeah.
Okay, you have two guns.
Yeah.
And then what else?
Satellite dish at the tip.
This.
Yeah.
So this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I introduce the Sun Crusher.
What does it do?
The fuck?
So, okay. I like to call it the waffle cone of doom. So, it's, okay. So it was made by the Imperial Department of Superweapons or some bullshit. And they basically, as the name in, yeah.
There's a picture of what?
Yeah.
Exactly!
That's it. It's literally the size of a starship.
It doesn't look like it.
Oh yeah, it's the size of a starship, believe
And
me.
let me guess, it sucks up the sun and shoots it out.
No. So, it's... Okay, let me look at my notes real quickly. Okay, so Sun Crusher, it's a starfighter-sized vessel, and it's coated with this metal called Quantanium Crystalline Armor, which makes it especially durable. It's so durable, it took several turbo laser shots from Star Destroyers without a scratch, and it rammed straight through a Star Destroyer also without a scratch. And it also survived in the atmosphere of the Yavin gas giant without a scratch. And it also took a glancing blow from the prototype super laser of a Death Star and survived.
Jeez.
Wait. So, wait. Wait.
So it's basically indestructible.
Indestructible.
So this fuck.
Don't spill my water.
So this fucking code.
The ice cream cone of
Just
doom.
be like, it's not even sucking the sun and shooting a laser. Literally just moving, skewering everything. So
It's a dart.
it's a fucking dart.
Oh
Yeah,
wait!
it's a dart.
Wait! There's more, kid. So it has like laser cannons and shit. You know, the usual stuff you find on starfighters.
What's the point? It's indestructible.
It has the special weapon called resonance torpedoes. Okay, this is why it's called the Sun Crusher. It has these torpedoes. Also, it has a hyperdrive. So it goes into a star system, fires this torpedo, fucks right off of there, and it supernovas a star.
You know, at that point, why don't I just light-speed ramming?
And it has 12 of these fucking things. It could just supernova 12 star systems before it has to reload.
So light-speed ramming, I think I know they don't explain it, but obviously the reason you don't do that is because it causes damage. Right?
Yeah.
With this thing, it's indestructible.
Yeah.
I think this shit could light-speed ram.
Yeah.
This shit could light-speed ram.
It could light-speed ram through a fucking planet.
Yeah. This shit could light-speed ram. Come on.
Okay.
Let's be honest here.
The only way this thing was destroyed was by a black hole.
This shit could light-speed ram.
Damn.
Let me see that waffle cone of fucking
Yeah. It's pretty infamous throughout the Star Wars community because it looks like a fucking 8-year-old drew it or made it.
It does!
It's like that one... Oh,
What the
God.
fuck's the point of this satellite?
I think that's like a never laser shit or something. I can't remember.
Of course. Because every ship has to have fucking lasers.
Lasers!
Literally Marvin the Martian. So you're telling me from these fucking little diddly ass needles that they fucking shoot themselves into a fucking spot, fire torpedo, go out.
Yep. It has 12 of these. Let me shoot my resonance torpedoes!
How big is this thing again?
It's the size of a starfighter, so I guess the cockpit could be the size of this room or something.
That's not big at all.
Exactly.
So this fucking thing.
Here I come! And fuck you, Star Destroyer!
Who gave the autistic kid a fucking movie?
Oh, fuck. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Who
great.
made this thing? Why would you make this thing?
Oh, clearly a bunch of Imperials thought it was a good fucking idea to create
Wait,
that.
so if a Death Star beeped this shit, would it even kill it? Would it
No.
even damage it?
I mean, granted, the prototype Death Star laser that hit it is less powerful than the actual Death Star, but it could still fuck up planets and shit.
So, a Death Star beam hitting this ball.
It's a glancing shot, so, you know.
It wouldn't even hurt it.
No. It was like, oh shit, I'm spinning out of control. Okay, we're good.
What is the metal made out of?
That tiny little thing can destroy
Quantanium
a
crystalline
star.
armor.
How rare is that?
Probably fucking rare.
Where did they find it?
I have no fucking idea, dude. Probably out of your ass.
How many of these things are there?
One.
Only one.
Only
Jesus
one.
fucking
Piloted it.
Christ.
Okay, so it wasn't exactly used by an Imperial. I think one of Luke's Jedi initiates kind of yoinked it and decided to fuck up some shit.
So this kid just took her on a fucking joyride.
Yeah. And I think he was possessed by a dead Sith spirit or
This
something.
sounds really stupid.
And in the process, he was possessed by this Sith spirit, and he went around and supernova 2-star systems.
Sounds like a
this
kid taking it on a joyride.
This sounds like the Star Wars villain of Killdozer, I swear.
It's the creator of the Sun Crushers, like that little kid who is playing with his friend, and his friend's like, "Haha, I got this sword that could kill anything. Nuh-uh, I got this armor that could shrug off anything, so therefore I win. I'm impeccable."
This is ridiculous. This is an absolutely ridiculous fucking contraption. This is some cartoon Looney Tunes shit.
I know, but that's what makes it so fucking fun.
So a black hole was the only thing that could stop this.
Yes.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, you want to know where the Sun Crusher was made?
Where?
In this part of the galaxy called the Maw Cluster, which is basically a part of the galaxy that has several planets surrounded by multiple black holes.
I have no words.
So, that's our first episode of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi? We certainly know that
When you
more than
save
mayonnaise can kill a Jedi.
Save the waffle cone of doom.
You see why I saved this for last.
Yeah, I can
It's
see.
so fucking stupid. Oh my god, that's so dumb.
That's retarded.
So, any questions, guys?
No.
No.
God, that's so fucking dumb.
If you give a retard a Star Destroyer.
I had a lot of fun with this episode. I was hyping myself, and I just got blown away by all the nonsense that we talked about in this episode.
Yeah.
Did you guys have fun in this podcast?
I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I'm glad I got to talk about some of my knowledge, and I got a lot of laughs out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, there's a lot of ridiculous super weapons, but a lot of them are pretty cool. There's the Thought Bomb, the Star Forged, and I think one of my personal favorites is the Eclipse Star Destroyer. That's pretty cool.
You know, it's just more like, why don't people want to just manufacture the
I'm gonna call it the
mass-produce
Waffle
a
Cone of Doom. I'm gonna call it that forever.
Yeah. I was actually talking.
Does it even need to zip out of there? Couldn't it just shoot the bomb and stay? Does it even need to hyperspace out of there?
I guess it's like a good bonus. But anyway, thank you for all the viewers for listening or watching our first episode of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi? We had a lot of fun. You guys want to know what the next episode subject will be?
What?
The history of the Sith.
Yes!
Oh, guys, just fucking Hot Topic.
Baby's first trip to Hot Topic.
The next episode's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'll get to talk more.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast. Star Wars is a universe full of silliness and awesome things, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, I'm gonna take us away. You could find me at Artificial Dragon everywhere. And if you guys really love this episode, be sure to leave some feedback, maybe a comment down if it's a YouTube video. And yeah, anything else you want to close out with, guys?
May the Force be with you.
Fuck you guys.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Jesus Christ.
All right, we're out of here.